position.
Hi guys, Mattiace, and we're starting off this video with a few short kills here on the C flag on Ballroom's Blitz. Now the first thing that I want to bring up in this video is a little bit of a tip when you're using stationary weapons. Now for example, when you get on an FK91, one of those stationary anti-tank cannons, they will be out of ammo. And the reloading process can seem like it takes a lot of time and you're quite vulnerable while the reloading animation is taking place. So what I do when I use that specific weapon, especially if I need to use it for more than one shot, is that I start the reloading process, and once the reloading process has done, it's gone far enough, it's just a split second, then I get off it, move around, maybe use it as cover, and hopefully take a few shots on other enemies. The important thing here is that you don't stay on the gun while reloading. Rekt fokkin get. Now the thing about stationary weapons is that you using them are quite vulnerable. You're a very easy target to a lot of people. In this case, like for example with the AA, you're very vulnerable to especially snipers. So notice what I did there. I actually threw a couple of smoke grenades before I started getting on this AA. And yeah, the AA is very powerful, it's very easy to use, but you need to stay on it for quite a while to actually do the damage needed to take down these planes. Now what I do there, first I throw those smoke grenades, and then I placed the ammo crate. And by the time that the weapon gets on cooldown and you can't fire for a while, you can get off it and you can throw another couple of smoke grenades that will be reloaded if you have the ammo crate next to you. And that way you can quite consistently actually stay within smoke while operating this AA. That is especially useful when you're taking out the behemoth, unlike what you see here. Here the behemoth is on my side, but the difference between the AA gun and the AT gun is that with the AA gun you can much more successfully stay on it for a longer period of time and you have more targets to shoot. And if you run out of planes to shoot down, you can actually target infantry. Get an infantry kill! Yes! Oh, counter kill also. Fucking AA is powerful! So now when Battlefield 1 was new, one of the things that quite quickly became popular and almost turned into a meme was seat switching. And then just a few months later it was quite frowned upon, especially among experienced pilots. Now there are different ways of countering seat switchers, and one of the ways to counter an attack plane that is seat switching, like you see here, is that when he's seat switching, you can go beneath him and you actually pass through him underneath, and then you seat switch out the seat switcher. Now the thing here is that he can't shoot you back when you are beneath him in a certain angle, and also of course it's very hard for him to see you. Now in order for this to work, you have to stay in your plane longer, so you maintain a higher speed than the guy that you chased. The moment you or him seat switch, you lower your speed, and in this case I seat switched later, which means that I passed him and in this case took him out with my own seat switch. Why? Oh why? Yeah, the question why is something I ask myself almost every time I end up in a bomber with a random pilot. Oh, another 14 damage. Well, alright, so I guess that bomber pilot really wanted to take down the behemoth, so I guess I could, continue his work. Now again, stationary weapons are good against especially the dreadnought, and in this case I'm going to use the fortress gun. One of the stationaries that I used the least, because it feels the most campy, and you have to kind of like get away from the battle to get to one of these. So it's not like you can just, you play the game and then you quickly use one of these stationary and get back into the fight. The fortress guns are normally located in places where there isn't all that much fighting going on, for the most part anyway. Check the minimap. See that red dot coming closer and closer? I'm jumping out, and that guy could have actually killed me. I don't know what he was doing there actually, but since I survived it, I might as well continue. And what I'm focusing on here mostly are the turrets of the Dreadnought. Now, of course, this behemoth has other vulnerable parts as well, but I don't know them all that good, and I know that taking out the turrets, that also, aside from dealing extra damage, it slows down its firepower for quite a bit, so yeah, kind of serves two purposes there. Funny as it is, if you don't get properly countered and the behemoth is as close as this, you can deal a significant amount of damage and basically take it out by yourself. That normally shouldn't be happening, but in this case, I think I'm dealing, I don't know, maybe half, maybe even more than half the damage by myself. I'm wrecking this Dreadnought.
Quella è un'imbarcazione!
Oh, damn it.
So here, as it's getting close to killing this behemoth, I kind of lose focus, and yeah, I'm being taken out by the guy. You see him on the minimap there. No, they got me. But I have decided that I want to kill this behemoth, so shame on giving up, right? I did three part damage on the Dreadnought. And oh, and I get him. I get him eventually.
Nice.
Là! Quello è un ricognitore!
That was mine. So for those of you who've been watching my secondary channel, you've probably seen me fly quite a bit, but something that I almost never do, or very rarely anyway, is to gun an attack plane, and you see a little bit of that here. Now, the teamwork between a pilot and the gunner is crucial. Here you can see the pilot, very experienced pilot, he's flying in a straight line, letting me finish that bomber, and that way he was giving a perfect angle for me to just finish a bomber that he already had damaged, and you can take them down really, really fast that way. Now obviously this is a bit of a problem, it's the AA. Luckily I was able to get a headshot on him using the Parabellum, I think it is, on the secondary gun here. Now the only thing unusual with this kind of teamwork is that I am not the pilot, but yeah, this time you were able to see it from the other point of view. A lot of you guys that watch my videos, you also play a Battlefield 1 quite a lot, and you're most likely, or most of you at least, are far more experienced and far better at the game than the majority of the player base. Now obviously one of the things that makes it really, really enjoyable to play a game is when you get better at it. You get more kills, you get more wins, your score improves, but the problem with that is that if you play with similar teammates, the teams might actually be very, very imbalanced, and it takes the fun out of both of you being in the dominant team and your opponents. One of the things that I try to do when games get as imbalanced as you see here is that I try to just go YOLO, get myself killed, and then try to switch to the weaker team. Preferably if I can bring my squad mates with me. Doesn't always happen, and doesn't always turn out as well as you would have hoped. Many times it's too late, but there has been times when switching teams has been the best thing for that server at that moment. And I tried that at the end of this clip, but unfortunately sometimes the teams are just full and you can't do it. Anyway, I hope you enjoyed this video. There's more coming, so yeah. Thanks for watching, and see you soon again.
Take that first aid! First aid, take it! Take a medical pouch!
An enemy armored train is en route.
First aid for you. I can fix your wounds.
We have lost objective butter. An enemy armored train has arrived.
Incendiary, yes. Oh, that was boring.
First aid, get patched up. There, first aid.
Return to the combat area. Return to the combat area.
Right there, first aid.
Return to the combat area.
Alright, I was killed. Alright, we'll see if I can switch to the other team here now.
We have lost objective Charlie.
Teams are full, come on.
We have lost objective apples.
Doesn't always work.